going to be Poppy's puppy. And then if you find out
stop.
what,
I'm going to intervene.
you should, Brandon, because you know I was going to go with another one, so that was a good stop.
Yeah, it's starting to sound like a seizure where you're like, Poppy. Stop.
Welcome to another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on this June 22nd, 2022. We are beginning Season 5. That's Season 5 of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker, which is off of our high of the second annual Quibbly Awards, which aired last week. And we're beginning with a guest. We haven't had steady guests in a while, so we have as our first guest for Season 5, Daniel Papi Gonzalez, who is a comedian out of Austin, Texas. He also has a podcast called Daniel Eyes This, and he does lots of other things, which I'm sure we'll get to. But before we get too much further into it, you should all know our client for today is The Ways You Are Stupid.
Behold, trapped in a hellscape of their own invention, socially unaware old white men bound by the pretense of being fake lawyers yet knowing no law, no exquisite Latin terminology, they are inexplicably compelled to quibble over minutia, squabble over triflings, and bicker like those who value their backyards far too highly without even knowing the difference between an easement and an alleyway. At this very moment, you have entered the heart of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Let's get started.
Have you ever wondered what causes dogs to be fascinated by the rumps of other dogs? Did you ever feel like you were missing out on something wondrous? Like your olfactory system is disappointing you? Today, your prayers have been answered with the creation of Dog Nose Hat. Dog Nose Hat is a simple device that you place over your head and over your face to recreate that dog sniffing experience. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. By placing Dog Nose Hat firmly on your head and then inserting the patented Canis Nasus pads into each nostril, you will have the ability to smell what any dog can smell. Our Canis Nasus pads add over 280 million olfactory receptors to better exemplify the dog sniff sensation. You'll be able to smell drugs in your kids' rooms, bombs at local airports, dead bodies at your local trailer homes, and of course the savory aroma of the behinds of the pets next door. Get your very own Dog Nose Hat and go woof. There's something wrong with me. Anyway, that is our fake sponsor for today, which is Dog Nose Hat. All right.
I was okay until the corpse. I mean, I was fine with it up to the corpse shot.
Bad dog.
You weren't loved as a child, my friend. You weren't loved as a child.
Bad dog. No. No, bring corpse home. No. Bad dog.
Jesus.
But the point, though, I think, is so that you can experience what dogs experience, so that you, too, could find a corpse in a river or under a trailer home. Of course, that harkens back to the story of my, murdered uncle who was found under a trailer home, which is kind of where I got the idea from. Anyway, so that being the case, we will welcome our guest, Daniel Papi Gonzalez. Now, one thing I found when doing some research is that it was your parents who nicknamed you Papi. And
yeah, true story.
I'm just wondering what goes through your parents' mind to name you their parent.
So it's actually a very common nickname on the island. It's just kind of like a term of endearment, It's like, hi, Papi, how are you? It does mean dad, yes. Like I call my father Papi, but like the other way to use it is like a term of endearment, like, oh, that's Papi, like, what's up? It's like calling some dude Joe, It's like just a common thing.
If we got about 20 of you,
it's like buddy.
If we got like 20 of you guys together and squeeze you, could we create heroin? What?
Maybe in the 70s.
Okay. I figured enough poppies. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe
it's Poppy's like bro. It's like bro. I have a Puerto Rican friend and he always calls me Papi.
Yeah,
and he's calling me daddy.
And then it kind of just formed into what everybody called me as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I moved to the States. I moved to Miami first, so I didn't have any problem with the Latino community. But then when I moved up north to Central Florida, that was a little different. Like there was a lot more rednecks. There was a lot more, black people that had never seen a Hispanic before. which was weird because it's Florida, but it's like a country town. So then, my first football coach in high school, he was like, "Hey, yo, Papi," and then it's just stuck. Everybody that I meet, my close friends, they all call me that. So I didn't pick the nickname. The nickname chose me. You know what I'm saying?
My grandfather was a Papi. We called him Papi my whole childhood. I didn't know his real name. My whole childhood, I just called him Papi.
Right. What
Yes,
part
sir.
of Central? You said Central Florida. I'm in Florida.
Kissimmee, actually. Kissimmee, yeah. So back in the late '90s, early 2000s, there was nothing in Kissimmee, Florida, but Disney World and rednecks. By the time I went to college, there was the entire island of Puerto Rico somehow migrated there. I don't know what happened. It feels like Puerto Ricans are just, some sort of cockroaches. We multiply like never before seen in human history. It's ridiculous.
I mean, those hurricanes and all that didn't help anybody down there particularly.
Oh, no.
So I think, but Kissimmee back then probably was. But yeah, no, Florida's very Hispanic. So I was like, where is he talking about? Was he in like Dothan or some weird town?
No, like outskirts of Kissimmee, Florida, St. Cloud. So like 25 miles south of Orlando. And it was an interesting time. It was crazy.
So tell us about your comedic career. So somehow you made it from Puerto Rico to Florida to Austin, Texas, where you then got involved with stand-up comedy somewhere along the lines.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you're very young, or at least compared to us.
31.
It doesn't take
31.
much. All right, so here's the way it works in life. It doesn't matter how old you are. There'll always be somebody who go, "You don't know nothing." You could be like 80 years old. Some guy's 100 will come along and go, "80? You're just a whippersnapper." So that it never goes away, no matter how old you are. So get used to that concept. So whenever I say you're very young, I recognize you're not very young. At 30, I didn't think I was young. But when did you actually
get? I've been a full-blown adult for 12 years now.
Yeah, full blown. But that's prostitution, and we don't want to get into that. So anyway, getting back into stand-up comedy, because none of us, the three of us, are not stand-up comedians. They're not funny. We just, say things that some people might consider funny. Right. Tiny little pieces of things. So you're doing full...
I am a professional comic.
A professional.
You live off it? Do you have a...
I don't know if everybody's ever really a professional as a comic. If you actually hang out with comics, we don't take it as professionally as possible, but it's something that, I've worked very, very hard at to get, I guess, the little bit of success that I've had. I don't even call it real success because I don't have a special. I'm grinding like the rest of us would say. In this,
you have a day job?
But I have a day job, but I am fortunate enough that that they understand, that I have the flexibility to go do road gigs and take weekends and do stuff like that. I know not a lot of comics are in my position. A lot of comics still, wait tables and do all this. But I have a career that I don't want to talk about, outside of comedy. But yeah.
Ooh, you made that so ominous, Greg. Why is that a problem for you?
Well,
because he's not wrong.
Are you the Puerto Rican mafia? Are you a button man?
Nah, man. Listen. I
got a job. It gives me flexibility.
I push pencils for a living. I push pencils for a living, and I have a very public persona. So if I keep my employer out of this, at least they'll respect it because they're giving me a lot of leeway, especially in today's cancel culture. You feel me? So
that's what we do here. We actually bring people on and then we cancel them by erasing the show.
Wait, you're a Catholic priest, right? Am I right?
No, that was my uncle Tony's profession, and I have a lot of stories about that I will tell you never because I'm using them on stage. So.
So what's your best joke?
You would have to come see me live for that, my friend.
No. Well, both Greg and I are in Oregon. Brendan's in Florida, and you're in Texas. So I don't know about the likelihood of getting to do that. So give us your worst joke then, if you don't want to give us your best one.
Here's the thing. all of my material that is out there, like one of my favorite jokes. I'll give you one of my favorites. It's actually one that's on my Instagram. It's actually about my weight loss. It's about how my wife needs a carjack to find my penis.
Saw that.
That's actually one of my favorite jokes. And that's an early version of that joke that's transformed in the last year and a half. It's become it started like this, like an idea that made me laugh because it felt so true to me when I first wrote it. And then, now you see it on stage. It's the same joke, but you wouldn't recognize it with all the little things that I've added to it and taken away and added it. It's like a toy. I can't give you a favorite. All my jokes are babies. I'll tell you which nights I felt like were great and that joke hit harder than you've ever seen any comedy hit. And then I'll tell you nights where it's like that same joke got 0 laughs. So my jokes are my babies. They're just these ideas. It's like a song, you write it and you hone it and you almost like, I love that joke because it's true. I'll tell you why it's one of my favorites. And I'll say the joke, kind of the basic version. It's like I've lost 225 pounds, and because I couldn't see my dick. Like, it's a true story. Like, I was so fat that my wife needed a carjack just to find my penis. Like that is true. I was morbidly obese. I was 505 pounds.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was true that she used a carjack to find your penis.
No, it's true to me. I mean, she fucking had a clamp for sure. She was holding up like this, and she was digging for that penis. But
to punch it.
she was holding up the poopa and then like digging around, to poke that motherfucker out. I offered a carjack one time.
That's a good wife.
No, this is a blood riser. This is that. Remember that series of commercials like, "Here's to you, guy that delivers the peanuts. Here's to you, woman that digs for your man's junk. You're the kind of girl that we all want to meet."
My wife, listen, my wife is the real hero in my relationship because if it was me in her position, I would have been like, "Ain't no finding that click, girl. Like, good luck."
You're not gonna bring out the flour and roll her in it.
I don't know.
Remember that old joke?
Oh my god.
Yeah. You don't. That's fine. Okay, could you tell us what's your first joke? Do you remember? Like, how old were you?
Yes, actually. No, I started comedy at 28 years old. So I've been doing it for 4.5 years now. And my first joke I ever told on stage was that all Puerto Ricans are born with rhythm and would come out dancing. And I did this stupid act out on stage that shouldn't have killed, but it did. I thought I was hot shit. And then I tried the joke again the next night and it fell so flat. I was like, that's a horrible joke. I'll tell you this, my very first open mic, I never, it was insane that anybody even laughed because I didn't think I was that funny. Then the second one was no, you're worse than you think, right? And then what kept me coming back was there was this comic in Hyenas in Dallas where I started. And he looked at me, he was like, "Nobody's funny at first, keep coming." And he kind of took me under his wing and taught me how to write comedy. Along the way, you meet other people like that, that want to see you succeed. And I'm a firm believer that nothing in life ever, is you can do it alone. You need people around you. And, I believe that anything you do in life, somebody did it before you, so you have to respect it. And I stand on the shoulders of giants, like great comedians, like Brett Ernst is I consider one of my close friends. Josh Castro out of Austin, he's another one of those guys, giants that, influenced me, and then.
Now, when you started standing on their shoulders, were you at the 500?
Brian Holtzman.
Yeah. When you were standing on their shoulders, were you at 500 pounds then? And
no, I wasn't. Okay. This is the metaphorical standing on their shoulders. Sir.
Okay.
Sir, I would not stand on Brian Holtzman's shoulders. That dude is a scary man. Okay, listen, sir. If you've ever seen this man do comedy, you would not stand on his shoulders. But I'm talking metaphorically here, sir.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get deep, but you guys want to squabble. and shit. So we're gonna go ahead and get a little squabbling up in here, sir.
Can I ask you, Daniel? I was curious. When you're 500 plus pounds, can you can walk around?
No, he rolled, Greg. He had somebody like push him around.
You'd be bedridden like those guys in Jerry
dumbass.
Springer in the 90s.
Of course, no. His legs were removed at 500 pounds. So that's how he actually lost the weight.
I just said you might be so happy.
It was. It's funny because I could stand and walk around, but like from here to the kitchen, I was like, oh my god.
I just ran a marathon.
I'm like, fuck that. Why did it get so long? Why? Just gasping for air. It was bad. No, man. Oh, and the stench? Oh, Jesus.
The stench from walking?
The stench from living. The stench from living. You take a shower and you still stink. Like, that's a tough idea to get. And
which part of you smelled the worst?
Balls.
Just take a long guess, my friend. I give you one guess.
The top of your kneecap.
Yeah, you can't reach your ass. I just hit 300 pounds for the first time in my life, and I'm finding it hard to wash my ass in the shower now. No. It's like
when I got
physical exertion to be like, I gotta reach the butthole to clean it. It's hard.
Listen,
it's really hard.
When I got underneath like 350, and I was able to just do normal things again, I was like, oh, this is nice. This is nice.
I don't need a carjacked to masturbate anymore.
Oh my god, I don't need it. And then when I got under 300 pounds, like that's like, I think the lowest I've been is like 265. It was like a different person. It's like, oh my god, my dick is a lot bigger than I thought it was. I could run-ish, I can run across the parking lot and not die.
That's good. That's good. So it's fortunate to do something and not die.
Yeah, it's like.
So how tall?
Oh my god!
To give me some perspective, how tall are you?
He's 4'3".
No, he's not.
I'm like 5'6". So yeah,
okay,
500.
5'6". Okay. Wow. Okay.
So you were pretty roly-poly at 500.
Oh Lord! Just if you go to my Instagram and you go back, look, listen, and that's the thing. I'm regular fat now. I'm not like scary fat anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, okay, this dude just eats too much. Before it was like, dude, you're dying.
My whole life I've been regular fat, and I'm segueing into the bad one.
Oh yeah, the one where people go, listen, when you know you're fat is when your wife says, I still love you, but your best friend goes, bro. You got that one dude that taps you on your back and he goes, like I'm Puerto Rican. My friends sling the Nword like it's nobody's business. They go, yo, my dude, you're dying. Like, you're dying. Your wife is suffering. And I was like, I guess I should lose weight, So
this is how I know I don't really have friends, because none of my friends have ever come up to me and said anything like that.
Yeah, I'm always like, manja, man.
I think I might have used the N-word in your direction at least once.
At least once.
At least once. So you got that for you.
I think you're grandfathered in by the boomer N-word generation. So I think you're.
Well, I see. We're not boomers though. We're all Gen X here. I'm just the elder Gen X. They're a younger Gen X. Yeah.
No, listen. I don't know what the young kids nowadays. They like to say boomers a lot. Those kids, they call me boomer, and I'm like, I'm not a boomer. Like, what are you talking about?
Like you're a millennial, right? You'd be a millennial.
I'm like right down in the middle of like the millennial generation. I was born in the 90s.
He's a young millennial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a young millennial.
I'm in like right snap in the middle of a millennial, like right in the middle. I think millennials from like 82 to like 2000 ish. Yeah. Anybody after that is a Z. I'm like right in the fucking middle. And it's like I get all the bad and the good of being a millennial. I'm old enough to remember the landlines and the dial-up and the pre-cell phone era. But I'm also like, I saw the social media and the world decay throughout my 20s. Legitimately. I was like, oh my God.
So I remember hearing you talk on some interview where you had a conservative podcast where you were actually stalked by somebody, like they were trying to cancel you or something.
That story's getting around. Oh my God. Yeah, actually, yeah, that was weird. That was a weird time in my life.
So
That was a
where
weird
was
time
that
in my life.
era? When did that occur?
And like 2016, it was like early on in cancel culture, like really early on.
So you were
It was
like sporting your MAGA hat around town, and people didn't appreciate it.
no, not even. I've never worn a MAGA hat. I'm like, it's weird because it's. I hate to say it, but like Cubans have really like Florida Cubans, especially growing up like middle school, getting right before I moved to Central Florida, like right middle school, high school, like that era, and all my dad's friends were all like Cuban and all that. So it was weird, like hearing all their stories of like Castro and like doom and gloom of government and like Democrats are evil. Like, like growing up with that, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want Castro to come here and take my shit. Like I'm Puerto Rican, but fuck, you know, like I don't need some weird Castro like figure to come and take my freedom. So I kind of came from that perspective, and then all of a sudden I got into like the deep parts of Reddit where all the real QAnon motherfuckers live, and I'm like, I'm definitely not that. Like, I'm gonna go back over here to my little corner where nobody can fuck with me. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's that. It was.
So it's a male or
it was a
female
time.
stalker? I'm curious.
You know what? I never.
So was it like a
so
communist? It was a communist who was shunning you down.
It was a weird like online local activist with an early version of TikTok or whatever it was at the time, and he was like another podcaster that wanted to make content, and like I didn't even give him the chance. You know, he showed up to the work. They like escorted him out the job. I almost got fired for that.
Wow. No, I understand your
yeah,
hesitancy about mentioning it now.
I almost got fired for that. But that was like years ago. And then yeah, like the dude found all my information. He sent me like weird emails. It was weird. And then, you know, I was like, you know, I'll just keep quiet about this. Like, it's all good. But I did learn a lot about like online content and like creation, and you know, I wanted to find my space in all of this.
So did this person focus in on you because of something political?
You know what? I'm assuming so. You know, it was weird. Like I deleted that Facebook like years ago, so I don't even know if it's anywhere at this point. I'm sure it is if I go digging for it. But it was weird. Like he would like comment on like posts that I would make on the old page, and he would be like, "Oh, you work here." And then he would do it like in several videos, like really stalkerish. Like I know you can find anything on the internet. Like, don't get me wrong. Like if you really want to, you can find anything on the internet, anything you want.
Yeah.
But like it was crazy because being like when you first kind of get into like the content creation, and you like, especially like 5-6 years ago, when all this, we were still figuring out YouTube and all of this, right? It's like. It was wild, wild west back then. So it's like there was really no moderation. Now there's too much moderation. So there's that too. But it was just a weird time. I don't know.
Could I find a picture of your penis back when you were 525 pounds? I think I could even find.
I'm sure if you hack into my old Google account.
There's a dark web website for guys that like really big men. Greg, if you want me to send you those links, I can do it after the show.
Oh my god, where's the show going?
Maybe I could be on it.
I don't know. He started.
I get some money. I need some more money.
Yeah, you don't need any more money. No, you don't.
As soon as you figure out how to use a laptop or something, Greg. So
you'll help me.
Sure, I will. Yeah, I've tried to help you. You don't know jack.
I'll give you 10%.
10% of nothing.
Of my jizz money.
Jizz money.
But when did you leave Puerto Rico? How old were you?
My father got out the military like in '97, so I was in Miami the same year the Marlins won the World Series, so that was 1997.
Wait, so actual fish?
Wait,
fish? Hold on a second, Greg. I got to clear something. So fish won the World Series, is what you're saying. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, fish. I mean, if you're it's also a baseball franchise. It's also a baseball franchise. But, you know.
Sorry, I was standing on the shoulders of Swordfish at the time. So
yes, you were. it is also a franchise, and now I think they changed their name to the Miami Marlins. I think.
And that was the year that Blind
no.
Melon won the Stanley Cup.
So when did you leave? When did you leave Florida? So you got to Florida in '97.
Yeah, I got to Florida in '97,
and then you left.
Yeah, I went. Orlando was 03.
Okay.
03, and then from 03 to 2012, I went through high school, college in Central Florida. Moved out to California for a few years. Tried out my lifestyle there. I'm an East Coast guy.
Your lifestyle.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
What kind of lifestyle? Was that when you were experimenting?
Listen, sir. I was 21. I don't know what to tell you. Sir,
that's because you're acting like an old man.
Sir.
I want to talk about hurricanes because you lived through a few.
Wait, wasn't that a baseball team too? Hurricanes?
No, that's a football team, and it's actually a college team.
Oh.
College football team.
Got it.
Yeah. Don't talk about sports to these guys.
It's lacrosse, I believe.
Okay, listen. I'm not pretentious, okay? Anyway, hurricanes. What do you want to know about hurricanes? How much you drink or how to survive one?
He lives in Florida. I don't know what the hell he's talking about hurricanes for.
I'm just saying you were here for some hurricanes. Irma.
No, I was. So, 2 in Miami.
You have a hurricane story? I have a hurricane story. Do you?
I have like 5. I do.
Do you have a hurricane story? I have a hurricane story. Let me tell you about my hurricane story.
Uh-huh.
The 2004 hurricane season, I think that's the same year where it was George, Francis, and one more. And then I think it was like the year after was Katrina. So I remember it was like 2 really bad hurricane years.
That was a couple of bad, yep.
That sounded like the new incarnation of ABBA just then.
Once I was drizzling in Portland and my bike almost fell over in the wet.
See, sir, ABBA, sir? ABBA?
Yes, I said a new incarnation. Damn it.
Oh my, damn it. ABBA, listen. How
you said George, Francis, Katrina.
How does your generation feel that ABBA is now a gay pride thing?
I don't care.
It always was.
No,
he's always loved that.
No surprise. Dancing Queen. Oh, come on. Yeah. No one was like.
You know what's hilarious?
Guys, was anyone shocked? Was anyone shocked that Freddie Mercury was gay? Was anyone shocked? No one was shocked. No one at all. Elton John. No one was shocked. Liberace.
But Liberace for sure. Everybody was shocked. Come on, everybody was shocked.
They didn't know what.
According to the movie, everybody was shocked. Okay.
Well, Liberace did win a lawsuit where he was accused of being fruit flavored by a British publication, but he won his lawsuit. So I guess he was able to prove that he wasn't fruit.
He's legally straight. Okay, cool.
That jury should have just been lobotomized. Like, look, he's fucking gay. That's all I had to say to the jury. How gay is this man?
I think the British courts finding him not gay is completely hilarious because there isn't anything more gay than British court, really.
Or
they don't know.
British people. They're all gay, aren't they?
They're all gay.
Yeah, so they don't know. Yeah. They're just like, he's very macho.
They all talk in gay English, right?
That's okay. It's okay. My generation has Bad Bunny. That dude has tits. I don't know what to tell you.
Your generation has what?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. So that's like a rabbit that's been left out in the sun too long?
A rabbit?
No. Hey, he's a Puerto Rican rapper Spanish rapper that's really mainstream now.
Wait, is he Puerto Rican or Spanish? Which one is he?
No, like he
raps in Spanish.
Spanish hip hop. He does Spanish hip hop.
Oh, got it.
But he's from the island of Puerto Rico. And he's really mainstream. He's been in the WWE. He's done all these other stuff.
When you say also, WWE, that does not make you mainstream.
Sir?
Yes, Sonny boy?
Sir. Okay, listen.
Suddenly I feel like I'm in the round table.
Listen, sir, listen. I'm trying to speak and listen. You're not listening to Mira. Listen.
Mira. Don't mind Brendan. He is occasionally racist.
No, he does accents. It's different, Span.
Oh, sorry.
Different.
Mira. Sure.
Ay, pa'l carajo. Really? All right.
Anyway, so you were saying after
Bad
Sir,
Bunny.
Sir,
We're
Sir,
talking about
Sir.
Bad Bunny.
But he's a Puerto Rican artist. He's really mainstream for as
Oh.
long as, at least for my generation.
Got it.
He's.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
We had
he's
the
a
disagreement at the
wrestler.
WWE thing. So he's
Yeah.
a Puerto Rican
yeah.
rap wrestler, is what you're saying. So
He's a Puerto Rican rap wrestler, actor. Yeah, he's done a bunch of shit. He's actually
Renaissance
gonna be in a
man.
Marvel movie soon. What's up?
He's gonna be in a. What's gonna be his superhero?
I don't know. I don't know what type of woke shit. Disney
if he's
has in
Puerto
store
Rican,
for
then
him,
he gets to wear
but
the
it's gonna
Captain
happen.
America
That's all
costume
I know,
because
okay?
Captain America is basically the Puerto Rican superhero anyway.
Is he?
Basically.
Yeah, if you
Because
look
that's
at
that's
if you look at his costume, it's the Puerto Rican flag.
I was gonna say because the outfit.
Oh yeah, I never noticed that.
What kind of fake Hispanic are you, Greg? If you
I'm
didn't
not a
notice
Puerto
that
Rican
before.
kind. I'm a Cuban Dominican. I care about our
You-
flags. even though I couldn't tell you what our flags
you're
look
dumb
like.
Cuban? Is that what it is? Did you just say Cuban Dominican?
Yeah, my
You're
mom
dumb
is
Cuban?
I'm
Cuban
the
Dominican,
racist.
and you're
You
totally
got it.
right about Cubans. They're all right-wing fascists. The Miami Cubans. They just hate anything
Hilarious.
slightly left-leaning. They're all just
Yeah.
Nazis. My relatives
did-
are all Nazis.
They're
I did-
Nazis.
Yeah,
They're
no, I did marketing. I do marketing, and
I-
I did a whole a focus group and a thing for a real estate office here in Tampa to prove to this white guy that Hispanics are not all the same, because he didn't get it. He had a flyer that he had with sombreros that he was handing out in a Cuban neighborhood, and I'm like, dude, no. So I brought them all together. And there was a whole thing just like what was happening. Like the Cuban was talking shit about the Puerto Rican. The Puerto Rican and the Cuban jumped on the Mexican because he was a lazy bastard. It was awful. It was the most racist stuff I had seen in real life. Like they were talking to each other like no one cared.
Yeah,
It was
this
amazing.
reminds me of one of your bits, Daniel. My favorite joke was when you tell people you're a Puerto Rican, they're like, "What part of Mexico is that?"
Oh yeah. Oh, that. You know how many times I get that? Like, when I moved, I was doing a gig in some town in the middle of Texas, and this place has never seen anything but Mexicans in their life. The white people don't know anything. It's not their fault. They just don't. Nobody goes there. Okay, but anyway,
It is their fault because
I'm
they
doing
still
these
live there.
jokes. I get a couple laughs. I get off stage, and some country ass white boy. Respect to him because it was the ignorance, and he asked me, "So you're telling me that you're not Mexican?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And I go, "I'm from Puerto Rico." He was like, "Where's that?" I'm like, "It's part of the United States, sir. Like it's a commonwealth of the United States. I am an American citizen. You know, when I get pulled over, I even confuse the cops sometimes because
That doesn't take
they
much.
see they see the Puerto Rican flag and the hip hop bumping, and I get pulled over, and it's like I'm a light skinned dude. So they go, "Hold up, so you're white?" And I'm like, "No, Puerto Rican." And they're like, "Is that American?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have a green card. I'm an American, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not." But in Texas, if you speak Spanish, everybody's fucking Mexican. So, fuck it, you know?
Yeah.
So what kind of tacos do they make in Puerto Rico?
Next
Fish
question.
tacos.
What a
I think
socially enlightened question, man. You're just
I
great.
think it's fish tacos, right?
That next question. I'm not going to dignify that with
What
an
kind of
answer.
chimichangas do they make in Puerto Rico?
Listen, sir.
They're Marlin
listen,
tacos.
Listen, you dumb Cuban over there. And I'm listening to you say coming to you. All right, listen. You know better. I'm going to hold it to a higher standard, especially since you're mixed.
Wait, you
Sir,
guys eat
don't-
mofongo? You got mofongo in Puerto Rico, right?
Mofongo, we got
Mofongo, you can't
chuleta.
find that shit here at all. I can't find mofongo for love or money.
Bro, here's your little hack. Find your nearest army base, and I guarantee there's a Puerto Rican restaurant, a Cuban restaurant nearby.
Oh, we're in Oregon. There's no army bases here.
No, there's a Cuban restaurant, but they don't seem to know
think there's an
mofongo.
army
It seems
base
like the
nearby.
Dominican ones. We don't have a Dominican restaurant. It seems like the Dominican ones are all about mofongo. At least in where I
Mofongo
grew
and
up.
mango, yeah.
My question is, does that come in one of those tubes that we talked about a couple of episodes ago?
It just sounds like Italian cursing is what they're doing to me.
It does. It does.
No,
Hey, you
no. See,
mofongo.
Hey, mofongo!
They're just messing with
what
those
we're really
white guys.
talking is a lost language called Taino. You know, so you might not know it, but we're actually speaking Taino right now, and it's a long lost language that none of you know.
Hey, Daniel, I just because we didn't actually talk to you about this, so at some point we actually have to talk about our client for today, and you're completely welcome to join in on that conversation because I think you have insights that would probably help a lot with our conversation.
The ways that Cubans are stupid.
Before we get into that, though, I do want to give you a little more attention about like how people can find your comedy, where you're located, what's your website. You know, because you came on to promote yourself, so we should at least let you promote yourself some. So.
Okay. I thought I was here to make content. Okay, whatever. I'll sell my feet later.
You can put them on screen if you need to. We'll let you.
Hey, listen.
Rats, you'll see Greg salivate. But go ahead.
Okay. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Papi_the_comic on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Facebook, at least Instagram, Twitter, and I think TikTok. But my main one's Instagram. If you go there, there's a link in bio. You can see past clips, future dates. My podcast, Analyze This, which is I do basically what you guys do, but better. And
that's not saying a lot, actually. So.
Yeah. The secret to success, young man, is just keep your expectations low.
Young man.
That is true. Tell them that you suck, and then when you do slightly above average, they're like, "Oh my God, you're actually not half bad. You're not half bad."
And we've won over all the people who know that we suck.
Right. Anyway, now you can find me there. If you're listening and you live in the Austin area, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Slackers Brewing Company, I produce a monthly show there. We have some of Austin's heaviest hitters coming by to do some comedy. Come out, have a beer. It's a free show to the community. Something that me and the brewery want to put on. So that's what we're doing. Comedy for the community and hang out, have fun. Other than that, I'll be in Houston end of the month, actually July 8th and July 23rd. I'll be doing another show in Austin. So working as always, plus any time to see me throughout the week, working out around
town. Go on the road, like deep in the road? Like, do you ever go to like Oregon, California?
Actually, I just got off the road. I did Springfield, Missouri last weekend. I did 2 shows at Osage Beach in the Ozarks.
Well, that doesn't help us at all.
Oh, shut up, Greg.
I want to see you play. You got to come to Oregon. There's a lot of comedy here.
No. I'm
not like
excited,
Greg goes to any comedy shows. He's basically pulling your chain.
Open mics. I've been to open mic nights here. They're great.
The funny part of that is, Daniel, that Oregon itself as a state is basically just a comedy show anyway. So
it is. Much. Especially all that rioting that somehow got shoved up under the rug. I don't know what happened. Like nobody talks about that anymore.
Well, there was a guy who was just convicted today for tossing a Molotov cocktail during the course of the riots. So something did happen.
It was me.
That was you. Oh, that's
it was somebody who actually came here from Indiana to get involved in the rioting. So he made his mark.
It's insane. It's insane. That's like over here. Here's the thing. They tried to riot for like a day in Austin, and then like a redneck came out and said, "Go home." And they're like, "Okay, no problem. We're going home. Y'all have guns here. We're going back home."
They got guns here too, but it's just for shooting deer.
Yeah, it wasn't all just rioting. That's why. It was a lot of good protesting. That's in the Constitution. You have the right to
riot.
I'm not talking about the riot. I am not talking about the protesters, sir. I saw many of the protests, and yes,
there was some bad eggs. Yeah.
I just know that you're too goddamn polite, Daniel, and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I just want to say,
sir. Like, same days they were protesting, put on that black block and said, "Give me your shit," and whatever.
All I want to comment on is how bad is it in Indiana that he drove all the way to fucking Oregon to get in a riot.
Oh, no,
Let's get arrested. Indiana's the worst, obviously.
All I'm saying is,
yes, sir.
Where was that kid? Where was that kid's parents? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like listen. The reason most Latino men don't, either we don't have a daddy in the home and we get into trouble, but if we have a daddy in the home, we have strict parents. We're not even allowed to fucking look at our penis without permission. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad. like.
Or without a carjack, for that matter.
Listen, my mom, she was up in my shit growing up. She was like, "You ain't going nowhere. Sit down. You're going where? To the beach? Huh? No. You die. I gotta tell your daddy." You know, like shit like that would happen to me. Like, my mama did not play.
If you die, you have to tell your father. Well, I would hope so.
No, that was literally one of her lines. She was like, so it was crazy. Like, I was so scared of my mom growing up that I would ask permission to take a day off from school. Like, can I not go to school so I can go hang out with my friends? Instead of doing it the right way and just doing it and then getting in trouble later. I'd be like, I don't want her to come fuck shit up. So I would ask permission. And then she'd be like, no, because if you die when I'm not around, I got to tell your daddy that I killed you because I wasn't watching you. And this happened deep into my teens. And then one day she goes, you die. And I'm like, damn, like, I don't matter to you no more.
That's how death works. You die,
yes.
you die.
You die, and then you don't matter anymore. All right, so we've reached definitely a little bit over the halfway mark, so we're going to start our food segment, our fake food segment for today, as soon as I figure out where I put that one.
I still don't have to pee. This sucks.
I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry.
At Safe Mart, it's a Safe Mart. Come to Safe Mart and be safe.
Safe Mart is a proud sponsor of Food is for Eating with Waspy Soda Pop. Today's special, 1 pound of glorious head cheese for $1.99. Come get some at Safe Mart. Be safe.
Food is for eating. Food is for eating. Food is for eating with Waspy Soda Pop.
Hey there, everybody. This is Waspy Soda Pop with another episode of Food is for Eating. I got a great recipe for you today. This is a family tradition. Goes back to the very first soda pop, going way back in olden times. These are Waspy's Bouncing Meatballs. Here are your ingredients. Get a half an onion minced, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 cloves of garlic minced, 1 pound of ground beef, 16 small rubber balls to taste, 1 cup of whole milk ricotta cheese, 1/4 cup packed chopped Italian parsley, 1 egg beaten, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, 1 pinch of cayenne pepper or to taste, 1/3 cup dry breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 28-ounce jar of marinara sauce, and a cup of water. That's all. All right, let's make them. First, you want to saute your onion in 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a skillet over medium heat till the onion is translucent. About 5 minutes. Stir the garlic into the onion, then turn off the heat. Transfer the onion mixture to a large mixing bowl. Stir your ground beef, your ricotta cheese, the parsley, the egg, the kosher salt, black pepper. And the way you can tell the kosher salt is if it's circumcised. Anyway, and the cayenne pepper with onion mixture until almost combined. Stir in breadcrumbs and continue to mix until thoroughly blend. I'm having trouble talking today, everybody. You want to stir in the breadcrumbs and continue to mix until thoroughly blended. Roll about 2 tablespoons of the mixture over top of 1 of the red rubber balls for each meatball. Pour 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the same skillet used to cook the onions. Place the skillet over medium heat. Brown the meatballs on all sides in hot oil about 5 minutes. Hold a crumpled paper towel in tongs. Use it to remove excess grease from the skillet. And finally, pour marinara sauce and water over the meatballs in the skillet. Stir to combine and bring to a simmer. Reduce heat to medium-low and simmer, stirring occasionally until the meatballs are cooked through and no longer pink in the center because they're red. They're red rubber balls. About 30 minutes. You know they're done when you drop them and they bounce off the floor. Don't eat that one. That's just for testing. Anyway, this has been Waspy's Bouncing Meatballs. You're going to love these. They're a little chewy, but you're going to love them. This is Waspy Soda Pop. Food is for eating. Once again.
Repeated viewings, there's new jokes come up. I didn't catch that the first time.
What didn't you catch?
I didn't get the uncircumcised salt thing. Somehow I missed that.
Yeah, well, probably for the best that you didn't catch that because, you know. not necessarily the best humor in the world. That
Yes,
comes
it's very
from
borscht belt.
Yes. Yeah, where's my rim shot, by the way? But don't forget, though, we do have to also begin this segment as well.
He has an opinion, may not always be right. He's a real fake lawyer. He's old and he's white. Ask him a question, 'cause he's a good egg for bogus advice. Ask Greg. Ask Greg? Ask Greg!
All right, this is the part of our show where we get a legal question for Greg, who is a fake lawyer. So, Daniel, actually, if you have any legal questions you need responded to, Greg is our resident legal advice person. So if you've got anything that you want to ask, this would be the perfect time to ask him.
Does one shake once or twice legally?
Well, if you're in a public restroom, shaking twice implies you're gay. You're playing with it.
Do you have anything else to say about that, Greg?
No, I'm just talking legally.
But wait a minute, Greg. Is that in all 50 states? I mean, I think the shaking rule applies in different states in different ways. I know here in Florida, we have a very definitive shake rule, which may not be the same in Oregon.
In Texas, you shake once, and
shake once.
They kick your ass.
But I think in Austin you have to mandatorily shake 3 times.
Even when you're not peeing.
I don't know. I mean, down on Rainy, you know, things get a little weird, and I think it's an ordinance. I think it's a city ordinance. We have to shake 3 times.
Greg, he was asking you. You're supposed to be the expert. You need to give him the.
But I'm asking you: is it once or twice, or this Austin just are we out of our minds over here and telling us?
Well, I thought I gave a ruling on that already, but in different states it is different. So like one shake in some states. In the Castro district, it's like 50 shakes. I mean, you can basically jerk off into your comm, and then they'll finally be like, I think this guy might be gay. He's jerking off on the phone.
Now, what if it's on Disney premises? What if it's on either Disney premises?
There's no
like Disney
on Disney
World
premises.
or
that's another country.
If it's on a Disney property, there is no hands to touch whatsoever. You have to keep your hands behind your back in a reversed Superman kind of position at all times.
I thought it was you could only use like gloves white gloves that have no fingers.
Oh, so the Chinese Communist Party can just fuck you royally. What are you trying to tell me?
Well, actually, that's true.
Yeah,
all of them at once. Actually, every member of the Chinese Communist Party will be lining up to do that to you.
Hugh Grant, like 10 years ago, was at a Disneyland, I believe, in California. And he shook once, and like fucking Goofy fucking beat the shit out of him, dragged him into the station. I mean, they're really
now questions. One more follow up question to the Disney question. What if it's on Magic Mountain?
It's a what?
What if it's on Magic Mountain?
They're a little more liberal there. They're a little more progressive.
On Magic Mountain?
Yes, listen to the name. What do you think, Magic Mountain?
That's because they're all fucking high. Obviously.
Yeah, they're all smoking dope.
It's the altitude. It's the altitude.
Yeah, they're high. That's what I meant.
It's like prison. You get a pass in prison. Magic Mountain, you get a pass. It's like you don't even know what you're doing because you're so oxygen deprived, you know. Who knows what goes on?
Oxygen deprived.
All right, I think I know my rights.
All right, good. Well, thank you very much, Greg, for that scintillating discussion, that legal discussion. Once again, we know why you're the one who answers these questions. All right, let's get to our client for today. Our client, if everybody has forgotten, is the ways you are stupid. And I'm sure all of you know ways that you happen to be stupid, but I shouldn't let you know that there are, from an article that came out of a publication back in 2015, they found 3 main categories of stupid or foolish behavior: confident ignorance, lack of control, and absent-mindedness. So one example would be of the first category, confident ignorance, would be like people who took risky acts which they didn't have the skills to handle, like burglars who stole GPS tracking devices because they thought they were mobile phones. That would be an example of confident ignorance. And I think actually, Greg, you're a victim of confident ignorance in many cases, aren't you?
Or I caused it by stealing those hurricanes in New Orleans off of the streets.
Yeah.
When I drank all those hurricanes that the sorority girls left when they went into the bars.
Yeah,
you
were a thief, is what you were. You're stealing
Yeah,
people's drinks.
Stupid thief. Because I could have gotten gonorrhea. I could have gotten, who knows, cankers, angina, various diseases,
trichinosis.
Yeah. Your nose could have turned to black licorice. Yeah, anything could have happened.
Who knows?
Or it could have been great. It could have been great, sir. It could have been great. It could have been Molly in those drinks.
Oh,
Greg?
Then he would have just gotten horse fucked or something.
He would have been what?
Horse fucked? What? What did I hear?
Yes, that's what I said. I stand by it.
Listen, give him a little. I'm gonna defend him here. Listen. He's just a communist Cuban. He's not a Mexican.
Listen. No, he got horse fucked. That's what happened.
You know, I gotta say, my mom was very liberal politically. She always voted Democrat, but because she was a Cuban, and they were rich Cubans who basically had to leave. They were the reason why there was a revolution, because they were such filthy rich fucks. She hated Castro so much, even though she was very left-leaning. She wasn't like a fucking commie, but she was very democratic, never voted Republican. But when it came to Castro, it was just like, he's the fucking devil. And I know he was a good guy, but as a teenager, I'd be like, Mom, what about Batista, though? He was pretty shitty, too. A right-wing shitty guy. And she was like, I don't care. Castro's the worst. Because they took all their land.
Yeah, so, like, I've heard some horror, like, growing up. Like, one of my neighbors, he told me one of the worst horror stories that I thought, you can think of. And it's like Che Guevara actually killed one of his brothers or something like that, and that's insane, So it's like, those two guys it's weird, right? Like, Cubans hate those two guys. But, like, all of South America, like, praises them, And it's like, so it's very contradictory in that way,
I don't think you can really trust anything that Greg is saying, though, because he pretends to be numerous different ethnicities as if, like, he was raised in all of these.
I've never pretended to be Chinese, Matt. I've never said any. I'm Filipino. I've never said that.
I pretend.
Well, yes. What about that one time? What about that one time you thought you were Chinese?
There. See, I'm Asian now.
Impersonation. This is when Brendan tried to be Asian.
That was that moment. So, all right, we're losing track of our client for today, though, boys.
The ways that you're stupid. That Cubans
are
stupid.
So the second one, which is lack of control, often results from obsessive behavior. That's considered to be like the middle range of stupidity. And I think that's where most people tend to fall into that particular category.
Stupid, though, or just you're a hothead. You can be a brilliant hothead.
Well, it's a lack of control, Greg. It's kind of like your issue with drinking, It's part of an obsessive situation where you're just stupid about it when you should be like not drinking as much because it would be better for your life.
Smoking.
Daniel, this is where the show turns into this like weird,
attack.
There's some sort of gay couple thing. So just be prepared.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Austin. Austin, keep Austin weird. I get it. I just wanted you to know.
I mean, I'm just gonna. I might, I don't know. I feel compelled to defend my Taino brother, but at the same time, I'm like, he might have this coming for him.
I know, but he always talks about how Italian he is. He rarely brings up his other ethnicities in terms of with this much verve and vigor. It's only because you happen to be here that he's decided that that's one of his major ethnicities. It's only because Daniel is here.
Is all of this because you're virtue signaling, sir?
No, it's just because I'm trying to get a job and I want to get in affirmative action. I'm like, hey, I'm Hispanic.
Hey, that's cute. Then all these other immigrants from all these other third world countries come here and say, "Hold my beer." You're not as exclusive as we thought you were, sir.
Yeah, Greg.
I don't play the race card often because I know I come off as very white, Jewish. Everyone thinks I'm Jewish.
I know they don't.
I see that.
Matt's the only person who doesn't think I look Jewish. Everyone I meet says, "You're Jewish, right?" But I still grew up, my mom she was Cuban Dominican. It's not bragging. I'm not denying it. It's truth.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'm
I'm
not
just an old
bragging.
West guy, so there you go.
Well,
I'm
you're
not
you're
Jewish.
Irish something, Greg. Brendan.
But Matt
you're-
keeps acting like I'm lying about it. I'm not lying about my ethnicity. It's part of my past.
I wasn't
It's part
acting like you're lying about it. I'm acting like you're being an opportunist.
No, you said
Alright,
that I
alright.
make up my
Quibble.
ethnicities at whim. Like if he was Filipino, I'd be like, yeah, I grew up in Manila. Yeah.
I think you might. You might
Listen,
say,
listen.
I'm a Cuban, Dominican, Filipino, Tagalog.
Don't do that. I don't lie.
That's not true. You just lied by saying that you don't lie.
You know how I'm stupid? I'm just going to interrupt.
By
'cause,
being
you
part
know,
of this
Please do.
podcast, Brendan?
Yeah,
Well,
please do.
that's one. Yeah, having been invited by you two to be a part of this podcast, that is one of the reasons I think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was a bad move on your part.
100%. I think
Lost
it's
of
led.
control.
I think
2
it's
years
led
ago.
to my entire downfall as a human being. since
I
I've
think
been
that we
living
are
in New York.
responsible for the death of your marriage. Absolutely.
Probably, but
Yeah, it helps.
but
I
more
don't know.
importantly, I'm terrible, guys, at Home Depot. I know I'm stupid when I go to Home Depot, and I fight the desire to feel stupid. I go, no, I get this. This isn't that hard. But there's a part of me at the same time that just goes, no, you don't. You're a piece of shit. You don't understand how this works. And yeah, so that's
All right,
that's what
I
I
have
feel
to.
stupid.
I have to agree with you on that one, though. Not that you're stupid about Home Depot, but I feel the same way because I'm what I call an unhandy man. I can't really fix things. I watch YouTube videos and I'll get confused by things. Like I had these two plumber guys here today, and we were down looking at the pipes, and I'm like, going, is this the pipe that goes to the other thing? I'm like, I got turned around and didn't know where the front of the house was. I'm like, going, I think it's over this way, or that way. I don't know. So yeah, I go to Lowe's. I don't go to Home Depot because Lowe's is closer to my house. Not that it matters. And I go, what would these devices do? Well, how do people use these things? If
It's
you
a
buy
hammer.
one, what do you do with it? Yeah, it was like a hammer.
And
Or
do you
a paint
do you
can.
do you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and look for the most adultiest adult in your generation and be like, you look like a real man. Help me. Tell me what this does.
No, because I wasn't raised in the generation that acts like they need help. I was raised in the generation where we pretend like we know everything and we know how to
Yeah.
do everything. And
Like,
so
I don't need
I can't
directions.
actually
I
ask
come
for
with
help. I have to figure it out myself, regardless of whether I'm right or not. I just have to
See, I
figure
think this
it
is
out.
why I'm smart,
so-
even though I'm a moron. I think I'm smart because when I go to a store, I just find someone and say, could you tell me where this is? I don't want to wander around for 10 minutes looking for the produce department or whatever the fuck I'm looking for. I just go to the person, and I have friends who are like, don't bother them, don't ask. Like, fuck that. I don't want to wait around 10 minutes looking around the store. I'm just going to ask for the information. I know I'm dumb, but in an intelligent way, I know that I'm dumb, and I won't find it. So I ask for help. Just like the guy in Memento. Did you ever see that movie Memento? It's a little before your time, Poppy. But,
Why did
Daddy.
you say? Why did you say his name like that?
because he's
Why you said it with like some kind of like insulting tone?
Nobody called him
It's like-
Poppy growing up.
He's
It's
not
like,
younger than me. He's
Poppy,
younger
you
than me.
scumbag!
Listen,
You horrible person!
Sir, take your blue chew. Take your blue chew and get back in your seat, sir. It's not my
No.
fault, okay?
No, it's only because you're
Poppy.
You're 23 years younger than me, and it's weird calling you Poppy, call you Daddy.
It's not.
It's weird for me.
No,
Just
So
spell it
listen,
differently,
listen,
Greg.
sir.
You can deal with it if you
It's
spell it.
culture. It's culture. I don't know what
I'm
to tell you.
your
I
Poppy.
like it either. I think it's weird, but I can't get rid of it. So I just leaned into it, okay? It's
You
not my
should call me
fault.
Poppy. Okay, so I'm saying.
I mean, I would. I mean, y'all your poppy and like, yeah, what's going on? What you doing, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing it. I'm also looking for my father. He's been gone for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to
Listen,
say.
I have this joke. I have this joke that the only reasons Latino call each other Papi is because we're just asking. You know, it's like Papi.
Like to see if it's
No,
actually
no.
your father. Like, are you my
Yeah, like we
daddy?
go, hey, Papi. Papi. No. Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, bro? Like, you know.
I can already see Daniel's sitcom later on. It'll be Poppy's Poppy, and that'll be the actual show
He
as
meets
they
his
talk
father.
about his father.
Papi question mark. We say Papi with a question mark. You know, like Papi.
Poppies? Poppy?
Poppy? No, not Poppy. Oh, what's up, dude? All good. What's going on? We're good.
Or you talk about like
Yeah.
his dog and it'll be Poppy's puppy. And then if you find out
Stop.
what
Listen, okay,
Stop. I'm going to intervene.
you should, Brendan, because you know I was going to go with another one,
Much.
so that was a good stopping
Yeah.
point.
So let me
It
just
started to
continue.
sound like a seizure where you're like poppy. Stop.
It'd be
Let me
Pepe's
just continue
puppy.
with my analogy. Is that the word? No, that's not the word. There was a movie
I
called
don't know.
Memento about a guy who had this disease, a neurological condition where
And we've
he
seen
could
the
only remember-
movie, Greg. I think all of
I
us
don't
have seen the. You don't have to tell us about the movie. If people
Nobody-
don't
I
know
don't know
it,
if-
they can look
I don't
it
know
up.
if Daniel has. I don't know if Daniel has. Because he's young. You
You
know.
talking about Forrest Gump? Sure.
No, Memento, the movie Memento. Greg brought it up before.
Life is like a box of chocolates. That's what I'm trying to say. No.
Memento.
In the movie
Life is like a
Memento,
box of morons, is
I
what's
got
happening.
shot in the buttocks. Okay?
Daniel, you should see this movie. It's fucking great, but it's about a guy who has this neurological condition where he can only remember the last 10 minutes of his life.
He saw the movie Pimento instead, Greg.
Yes, Palmetto Bug, the movie, the horror movie. But in this movie, this guy's smart enough to know that he has a condition. And he tattoos shit on his arms to remind himself about shit. Like he writes notes. So I'm a fucking moron by Matt's third definition of being stupid, of just having no memory. I can't remember shit. So learning things just goes out of my head. So that's why I'm a moron. It's not because like I'm confident in my
Wait a
moronic.
minute. Time out. Matt, Greg, we went through this whole Memento down that road so you can say that you're not stupid?
No, he
I'm
said he was stupid.
But I know how to deal with my stupidity
I got lost.
in a smart way. I could just be stupid and forget everything and never.
You're
get to work on time.
self-aware. You're like a basic form of AI. You're just self-aware. You haven't started really machine learning. Okay? You're just self-aware. You're like,
basic
I exist
form of
and I'm
AI.
stupid. I exist and I'm stupid. I need information, so I go feed me information, and then I can't retain it. You're like level one of
get
this
back
shit.
on
You're
the
like the first
spaceship,
iPhone.
Dave, get back
You're like
on
the first
spaceship.
iPhone. You know, you can take a picture, but you really don't have that much memory. You know, you got to erase some pictures along the way so you can take more pictures.
I think that is one of the most apt descriptions of Greg ever heard, that he is the basic form of AI.
Yeah,
I think that totally encapsulates it.
I wish I was that smart.
There's not a lot of RAM memory.
No,
there.
listen.
No.
AI could like do calculating functions pretty good. They're pretty smart in a way.
No, okay. This is going to tell you what I do for a living because I'm about to bring up. So when you think about like machines, they're dumb. Like machines are dumb. Like they only know what we let them know, but then they can't really learn unless they have the processing power. And if kind of the way cell phones work, right? Like in the beginning, back in the 90s, you had the basic, only you can barely fit a number in there, maybe 4, a couple contacts. Then all of a sudden you get to like the 2000s and you got like the Razors and the brick phones, the Nokias, and you can do a little bit more. Then you get to like the first iPhone is like the first real smartphone. And you think about the shit that could do compared to like what they can do now, like that was a dumb phone and it was considered smart. So it was the limitations. You're just living on limitations, my friend.
But I am like that. I have no what is it called? Kilobytes of memory. It's like
Living
you just
on
try to teach me.
limitations. Just got some limitations. I think this is a song, guys. Living
I
on
know what you're saying.
limitations. I don't know.
It's okay. I'm stupid too, bro. I'm stupid too. Why do you think I'm a comic? Like, I'm stupid.
So the third form was absent-mindedness, which is found to be
Yeah.
caused by a lack of
That's what I was talking
practicality, which is, I think, really what we're talking about here.
No, it's almost like ADD. It's just like you can't focus. You're just like kind of just living through life. You're not thinking enough. You're like,
It's either that or all.
oh,
the
I forgot
proper
to pay my
shit
electric
going on.
bill because I was.
You just
thinking about-
showed how old you are, Greg, because you called it ADD. Don't you know all the cool kids call it ADHD?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Actually, no. It's now called being on the spectrum, guys.
Yeah,
The
he's
fact,
right.
though, is that
It is now.
everyone is on the spectrum.
Everyone's on the spectrum. You might be on the spectrum. No, I'm just stupid. You know what I'm saying?
no, we are. We're all on the spectrum because it is a spectrum. There's either a 0 or a 100. So
You could be 0.
everyone is on the spectrum.
Everyone
at least.
is on the spectrum.
Exactly.
Listen, I went through the Florida public school education system, so I am definitely on the low end of that. So
We are all on the spectrum.
Better that than the plectrum. Don't ask me to define it. I forgot what it meant. All right. So once again, the ways you are stupid. What are the ways you are stupid, Greg?
Oh, God. Let me count the ways.
Well, let's start with 3.
Well, I have a basic lack of survival skills where I don't even care. I do stupid things like smoke and drink too much, and I'm obese. I'm very unhealthy. That just seems like against human nature. Like, you should want to survive. I know I'm cutting down my survival. That's very dumb. I'm just also dumb in the sense of the third sense, absent-mindedness. Like, I just don't have a very sharp brain. I'm very slow at learning things. Like, I get good eventually, but I'm not quick. I mean, I can eventually learn and be like, oh, I'm excel even. But I'm just not that bright. You know. I know I have a bad brain, but I've dealt the way I was bragging earlier about how I've dealt with it in a smart way. I know these things, and I've done, like, my whole life, I have patterns to deal with that. Like, for example, when I come home from work, there's a place where my keys and my wallet go every fucking day because I would lose them. Some smart people could just throw their wallet here and be like, I remember where I threw my wallet the next day.
No, time out.
It's over there.
First, Greg, that, number one, what you just said, that's not stupid. That's logical. Putting your shit in the same place is logical.
I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of friends who lose their keys every fucking day because they're just like, I'll remember where they are. It's like, I know I won't remember where they are. I know if I throw them in the corner or in some random place, I won't remember. So at least I'm smart enough to say, Greg, you won't remember. Put it in the same fucking spot every day. If I was smarter, I wouldn't have to. I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember. I threw them on the table. Or
I don't think that makes you... I think smart people are also stupid, Greg. So it doesn't mean that would... Just if you're a smarter person... What?
Who's the name of the guy who ran HUD under Trump? The black neurosurgeon. What was his name again?
Carson.
Danny Glover.
Carson. No.
Yes, Danny Glover. Yes.
It was...
No, Sidney Poitier. I think it was Sidney Poitier.
Stop.
And
it was stop.
He was a fucking neurosurgeon.
Carson.
He was Ben Carson was a fucking neurosurgeon who could do 99% of the world couldn't do what he could do, and yet he was a fucking moron when it came to the main picture. He's dumber than me.
I think he was just really tired. He just seemed
he was a fucking idiot. Like doing what he did.
He was tired.
He seemed tired, but he could still fix your brain if you got in a car accident.
I wouldn't want him to fix my brain.
He's good at it. He was a well-respected neurosurgeon, like top of his field. He's really good at that. So maybe he's on the spectrum.
Said all the people he operated on.
Could be. He was bribing them.
He was the best brain surgeon I ever had.
I mean, the dude is black. He can't really say anything else.
What?
Ow!
Well, hey. Raise your hand. Racist in the house. Racist in the house.
I mean,
oh no!
I don't have an opinion. I'm just saying that. I mean, the dude.
We just got canceled from TikTok.
God
damn it!
I'm just saying. A black Republican doesn't get respect. That's all I'm saying.
I get what he's saying.
Don't care.
That's some self-hating bullshit. That's like a self-hating Jew. Being a black Republican. That's just like...
Okay, no, whoa. Okay, well, Papa, let's slow down. Okay, let's talk facts. Why were all the early black politicians in America, why were they all Republican? Don't give me this BS about, because back then the parties were flexible. Give me a real reason. Why were they all Republican?
Because the Republican Party was the anti-South party, the Civil War.
They changed. Anti-South or anti-racist?
No, anti-South.
Anti-slavery.
Anti-slavery.
Let's be honest. No. Let's think about it in the terms of the time. Every white person back in those times was in a form racist by ignorance. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, agreed. Okay. Right.
I'll agree with you. I don't know about these other two numbskulls, but I'll agree with you.
Right.
No, they were.
I'm still racist.
They were racist by I think racism is honestly ignorance. Okay, let's be honest with it. Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. So they were racist via ignorance because they just weren't exposed to the people that were privileged to live in the world that we have this type of mixture in the general public, especially if you live in a big city, right? So you put it like that, and they were crazy enough to be like, well, we're going to side with these guys who are against slavery, which was the Republican Party. And they've been very kind of freedom focused when you think about it. I mean, I think they're super corrupted and corporate and all that. Don't get me started. But at least back in the day and how they started, that's how it was. And I'm like, when now it feels like, especially I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. So this is also going to be.
Oh, you're in the right show for that.
Goodbye, YouTube.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's the fourth form of stupidity is conspiracy theories.
It's like they were even deeper. There were even deep Republican voting blocks through the 40s into the 50s, and then somewhere after Kennedy died, they all went Democrat. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of manipulation there, I think, psychologically. So I feel that when you see a minority, instead of respecting his choice for being for his own person, they always go, he's a self-hating person. I'm like, no, what if he just has a differing opinion? You, sir, are very liberal for a freaking Cuban. And, I would say that you're crazy because you're self-hating because you might be a Castro sympathizer.
He's not a real Cuban either.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect your opinion, but at the same time, it's like, you have to look at them as like, I don't think his policies were good. I don't think he was the right guy for the job. But I'm just saying, respect his moronic ideas, I guess. Let them be stupid. You got to allow people to be stupid sometimes.
I think the cheap.
I mean, AOC exists, okay?
T-shirt merch thing. I think that guy killed it on merch. Guevara?
I'm sure
Castro? Oh, Guevara. Yeah, absolutely.
Guevara killed it on merch.
Oh yeah, no, great PR guy. Yes,
that guy. Nothing.
Stickers everywhere.
Nothing says good
everywhere.
branded communism like Che Guevara. Nothing.
No, of course not. Him, Pol Pot and fucking Stalin.
No, Pol Pot is no one.
I never saw a college student with a Pol Pot poster on his wall. I never saw that.
You saw a crockpot poster on the wall.
No, I saw many. Che Guevara was very hip for a while when I went to college in the 80s, but Pol Pot never was.
It's because he didn't wear a beret like Guevara.
No, he was a murderer.
Exactly.
Because
he wasn't sexy. Because Che Guevara was a mass murderer. He was a mass murderer. He was a mass murderer, but he was sexy.
Wait, would you say he was a freedom fighter or a mass murderer like George Washington?
Well, he was
a lot of people.
Not to put the Hispanic people down, but no one does mass murder like the Asians. No one.
Sure, this is true.
Yeah,
those guys.
You mean the Eurasians?
Hold on. Some guy in Africa might have something to say about that.
What about Hitler?
They're in the running for most crazy and brutal. 100%.
The Germans?
We did the genocide episode we did that got banned on YouTube. Specifically said that it was the Eurasians that were the best at genocide and mass murder, which was basically the Russians were the ones who were the best at that. So
they're good at it. Stalin.
We got banned from YouTube for talking shit about Russia indirectly?
No, about genocide. The genocide episode got banned from YouTube.
They're talking about history. That was true. We were banned.
Here we go. We're going to be banned again.
Just that one episode, though.
I'm just saying the Soviet, the Soviet Union did some really nasty things.
Yeah, we got no one watching on TikTok today, so we're not going to get banned from the live stream this time. So,
Stalin killed way more people than Hitler. They say there's way more than 8 million.
Oh yeah, and he started with Ukraine also. He did the Holodomor, which was all designed to
Holodomor,
to starve them all out.
But he didn't literally push people into have people. He didn't do it, but he didn't have people push people into gas chambers and.
No, he pushed the food away from them. Is what
I get it.
But it's
important
Puerto Rico?
how you kill somebody.
It is important. How do you kill people, Brendan?
If you're what I'm saying is, if you're gonna kill somebody and you just let's say you're just gonna starve them to death. You're gonna lock them up in the attic
or gas them.
No, well, hold on. No, there's a certain amount of you just lock them up in the attic and you're like. Hey.
I mean, if you think about it, the Australians are doing a phenomenal job of that right now.
It's a good point. But
the Australians.
So if you put them in a, but if you go and you beat them to death with a hammer, that's different. They're the same, but they're different. That's what I'm saying.
It's the same, but it's different.
If I beat my grandma to death with a hammer, that's
But is it a hate crime if you beat your grandmother to death with a hammer?
In like 10 years, when my Netflix special comes out, they're gonna dig this up and they're gonna cancel it. Oh fuck!
We'll be on trial.
Holy
Well, if you hadn't said that racist shit, Daniel, you wouldn't have had this problem.
Hey.
I don't know where the hell that happened. I love everybody. I know what you're talking about. Oh my god!
Let's start with Dolly Parton as the HUD secretary. So that's where it all started.
I think she'd do a better job than Ben Carson.
That's the guy.
She would have. I 100% agree that Dolly Parton would have done a better job at any position you gave her, including president, than the last 8 years of these fucking assholes.
She's a sweet motherfucker. She's sweet.
Oh my god!
Working.
No, you know who we need to bring back? We need to bring back Ike, man. He had that lady working, all night long. You know what I'm saying? Imagine him in the White House. You know how tight that shit room?
Dwight Eisenhower?
No,
Ike
Turner.
Ike
Turner.
I got it right away.
Imagine that press corps. That press corps would not ask a damn question because he pulled out that bill like, what'd you say?
Miss Turner, shut up, bitch. Yeah, I was the president.
Got a whole new clips for the highlight reel this episode.
Turner would have bitch slapped Congress, every one of them.
That's what they need. They need a good bitch slapping. I'm serious.
Well, why go to him when you have Will Smith in the wings?
Well, because Will Smith is Jada's in control of that shit. That was a work, okay? Jada, now I would be scared if Jada ran for president. You see the way she be controlling Will. I'm sorry, I cannot have a lady like that running for this country. No, I don't think so. She scares me, man.
I would go to her house for barbecue. I wouldn't even do it.
There's some interesting conspiracy theory out there that it was all designed to take attention away from Ukraine by Pfizer because they were coming out with an alopecia medication, and that was the whole purpose behind the slap.
And they wanted to sell it to Ukraine or Russia?
It was they wanted more attention so that more people would buy that medication.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect for our client. The ways you are stupid. Okay, so I think we've come to a really good moment. Daniel, thank you very much for putting up with us. I know it's been kind of a strange thing dealing with basically the enemy here on this particular show.
I shouldn't have worked out before I did this.
Well, I gave you the opportunity to watch some of our episodes, so at least you would have an idea of what you were getting yourself into. So it's always.
No, that is true. I kind of knew, but I wasn't like it came in heavy. I'm excited. This is a fun thing. And by workout I mean just it's YouTube. I don't want to get y'all taken down, even though I've already said worse things than before. But it was interesting. It was fun. Anytime you guys want to have
deal with the Cuban today.
It was interesting.
I mean, you're the whitest Cuban I've ever seen, bud.
Yeah.
My mom was
that guy. You look like you're really good at the law. That's all I'm trying to say. You look like you make a really good agent. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
You look like you know how to gamble and make money.
I'll take 10% of your earnings if I manage you. I could manage you, make your career bigger. 10%.
How intoxicated are you, Greg?
Did I sound that bad?
A little bit, little tiny bit.
But good to meet you, Daniel.
Yeah. Again, feel free to take the opportunity to let people know how they can find your comedy, where you are. Blah blah blah. One more time, throw it in.
Papi _ the comic on Instagram. Just check the link in the bio for all future dates. Thank you. The laws of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
Yeah, he has Venmo and Gitmo apps, so you can send him money. So, God, I was just hoping someone would catch that little joke I just tossed him, but nobody caught it. So.
I did catch it, Matt, but I didn't want to catch it. I let it drop.
It just
I let it fall down.
You guys disappointed.
I respect it. I respect the attempt. It totally bombed, but it's okay. No,
So
you
if I
gotta
get
do
on the
that once.
Gitmo app, can I waterboard? Is Daniel? Is that how it works?
Gitmo?
I can
Yeah.
waterboard this
The Gitmo app enables you to swipe left for people you want to waterboard, swipe right for fingernail
Swipe right.
removal.
space.
Swipe
I would
right
love to
for the
fucking
ones you want to fuck with a plátano. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What is a platano? Is that like a plantain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yes, exactly what it is. It's exactly
Okay.
what it is.
I got lucky on
You're
that.
not. Yeah. I don't know why you have Google right in front of you, sir.
I don't
Fine.
actually. I have your face right in front of me. Is what I
See, I
have.
told
Oh,
you,
okay.
the Caribbean, we share the same culture. I'm Cuban, but Puerto Ricans, we eat the same
You
food.
start talking about how Italian are in later episodes. I'm going to remind you of this particular episode.
Yeah,
You go,
I'm
"Oh,
both.
they're really cute."
Fine, man, both. I ate the best bolognese in my life
Both.
growing up, and I ate the
Oh
best
no, it's the
mofongo.
bolognese talk again.
No,
for fuck's
stop,
sake.
stop.
Growing
No,
I had
more
both.
of
I had the
you
best food in the
two.
world.
Stop.
Paella. My mom made paella.
I'm going to shove a pie up your ass. All right, Daniel, it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
I don't know what to
I don't
say
know.
about
I don't know what the hell is happening. So
I don't know what
Thank
the
you
hell's
guys.
happening.
My mom made paella.
I may be in Austin.
You get it,
I may
Daniel?
be in
My
Austin.
mom made paella.
Yeah. I may be
Maybe
in
in
Austin
Austin.
in September. or
Email me. I
October.
got you, dog.
My
I'll
mom
hook
made
you up-
paella.
I'll hook up on Instagram.
This has been another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble Bicker. Our client has been the ways Greg is stupid, and the ways you are stupid. I want to thank very much our guest Daniel Papi Gonzalez for putting up with us. And I don't know how many times I've been called sir, but it hasn't been this many times at one time in years. So
Stop!
thank you for
Your Majesty. Thank
showing
you.
my freaking age.
Your consultation with the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker has ended. You may pay your retainer at www.qsblaw.org. Please exit to the right of the water cooler and grab a candy from the front desk. We hope to see you again soon, but you need to leave now. I said leave. Why don't they even listen? Get out! Get out!